Good early Monday morning, YouTube, and it's a cloudy one.
I've been riding on a daydream.
Well, after having a really nice day yesterday of 84 degrees and a decent amount of humidity, we're into this day. We've got some rain showers on and off today, and currently, right now, there's a spider trying to get me. That little baby just kind of hanging out there. Get away. Um, Currently, it's 69 degrees with a breeze. I almost need a jacket for that. I am definitely not a cooler person, and this kind of feels chilly. I've got some goosebumps going on my arm. So today is maybe a traveling day. I don't think it's going to be. As you've seen in my video that I posted, we got a lot of stuff to do, and I have a list. And there's something that you may want to do if you guys, I'm sure, know that there's so many different apps available for your phone that you can get something like this here. It's called Color Note, and on Color Note you can make some sort of a checklist. My checklist here, I've got a bunch of stuff. I need to fill the freshwater tank in the RV, pack some things. I got to get the old console TV out of the RV. It's just sitting in there on the floor. I kept it in there just in case we wanted to put it in the front here and I watch a show and Heidi watch a show, but that didn't happen. We got to get a lot of electronics out of the house. I need to take my air compressor and blow the vents out. Do you guys remember that video? When we were camping out at Paradise Lake, I had water coming in because it was storming, and I forgot to clean out the vents to the window. So I need to take my air compressor and blow out the other ones. I need to set up my security for at home, even though my son will be here at night. He goes to work occasionally. He's a part-timer. And my daughter will be here for the entire time. I do still set up my security inside so we can view that from anywhere and talk to them if needed. I need to have Heidi make sure she packs her Galaxy View, that big tablet that I bought her. That's her road map. We're also going to get the road atlas out of the RV, have that in there as a backup. Need some supplies for inside the RV. I'm going to grab a extra pair of glasses. It's a good idea if you wear contacts, which I'm going to bring contacts also, to bring an extra pair of glasses. And the reason is Heidi's family, for the most part, all of them have always wore glasses. Their eyesight's not that great. Her dad's eyesight's not that good until he had cataract surgery and it replaced the lenses. But Heidi's eyesight, as we've discussed before, isn't that great. And they went on a family trip years ago when her brother, again, not having the best eyesight, her brother actually was down at Dale Hollow, and he accidentally lost his glasses right off the dock, and it's really deep there. Well, he was going to be SOL because he can't see at all without his glasses, just like Heidi can't see at all without her glasses. So instead of him spending the entire trip, this was on the first day of the trip, without any kind of eyewear, they sent divers down and they found his glasses. So her dad rewarded them handsomely for their efforts because that saved the trip. So it's always a good idea to have an extra pair of glasses. You just never know. Of course, again, supplies, just food, water, stuff like that. We got to figure out the chair situation. My blue tank, we talked about that yesterday. Generator, ladder, spare tires, and again, this is all on the list. We want to make sure that we have everything that we need. Now, there's still some thought in my mind, and I might try to do it today, of taking this thing out and getting the tires rotated real quick, because I definitely feel strongly about that, to where it would make, if you're traveling 3,000 miles, I mean, that's a lot of wear on a tire. So I would like the tires that have not been rotated yet to be rotated. So I'm going to jump into this. We'll keep you up to date instead of me talking about it as things go along. But we're going to see how far we can get today to be in a position to possibly, I don't know, leave tomorrow morning, maybe tonight. I'm just not sure. And with Heidi and her dad and his situation, there's a chance that she may have to run over to Canton. He's going on dialysis today. His kidneys have failed, and it has something to do with the way his blood pressure was up and down during his stroke. His kidneys were working, weren't working, weren't, that kind of situation. So they're going to try dialysis to get him jump started again, and hopefully he'll pick it up from there. But yeah, and again, Heidi reads all your comments. She's really happy that you guys are all thinking about her and her dad. And hopefully this doesn't turn into anything more serious than what it currently is. So let me go ahead and start working.
Well, it's about 74 degrees out, so the chill is off the air. There's still a breeze and it's still cloudy. I got the CB antenna up. Go figure that out. Oh yeah, I put my toolbox inside the truck. Now, the only time that would be an issue is if Heidi was driving and I needed to sleep. That's not going to happen. So yeah, it's behind the seat here. I think it's a little bit more protected there. The only thing I don't like about it being back here is if it rattles or anything like that. And that sumbitch is heavy. Holy cow, I forgot how heavy that thing was. So yeah, Heidi, she don't have a problem with the seat. She can lean back, and if needed to, I can just slide it back there and it'll fit. No problem. But we're getting closer, and Heidi posed the question of why in the hell do I want to carry everything, and I told her to simulate, and she goes, that's not going to be the way it's going to be whenever we go. Now that I'm getting stuff in here, it's like, wow, just like all you guys are saying now, I told you so. Yeah, it's pretty tight. It's kind of getting tight in there. I put a real thin piece of plywood on my water tank so I could set that ladder or the ramp up on there. I have the ladder here. I have my Wi-Fi antenna here for that booster. And then I have both propane tanks up there. I have one of my electrical toolboxes, of course, the blue tank, and then the generator, which I tore apart. The whole generator. I took the whole case apart. That's one of the reasons I'm behind. I wanted to see, as far as security wise, what would be required for me to put some sort of support in here. It's not worth it, guys. Don't tear it apart, because this is a honeycomb that's inside here. It's not completely hollow, so it's just not worth it. If I was to do any kind of security, I would drill through the top here, and there's a major frame that I could put some sort of an eyelet through, or some sort of a bracket, and then come up through the plastic to make it to where the cable could route through that. That might be in the future, but of course I'll show that on a video. I wanted the generator near the end. I know that weight, the heavier items you should have further up. But yeah, I definitely have it towards the end, because I want to be able to roll it out if I could. I mean, if we get into a real desolate area, I have my security already, chained to it. It's all locked up, and that's locked around the winch mount in the back. So again, they'd have to cut the cable to get that thing, out of there, and break into the cap, which I don't think that's too hard to do. I mean, you just break the window. But anyways, this will allow me to roll the thing out and hook up one of the propane tanks and just start it up if I wanted to. Now I got to get the chairs in here, and if we were definitely doing this full time, the spare tire for the RV, I don't know who mentioned it. They said put it on your rear bumper. These rear bumpers, you have to support them. There's just a real thin, tiny weld that holds this bumper on here, and they just peel away. The metal that they're made out of is welded to this brace, but they will peel away with any kind of weight on them. So the only way to do that is they make a thing. There's a guy that's his spiel is he's got plates that you bolt to the frame of the RV. Let me come over here where that cord's not in the way. You bolt brackets to the frame of the RV, and they cradle. They're like U's, and they come down, and then they come underneath, and then up. And there's two of them. So they hold this then. They cradle it. Again, I'm not going to do any of that crap. But yeah, I mean, as far as the spare tire, there's ways to do it. You can put it underneath the RV and make a crank lift. That's real easy to do. You can get that crap from a junkyard, because trucks had that. There's also a way to mount it underneath your A here in the frame. I should have said that a little bit faster, huh? Mount it underneath your A. But yeah, I could make it to where the battery sat up higher and mounted it there. I just don't need to do any of that right now, and that's what Heidi was saying. You know, we always go back to the thing of we're you know, not planning on necessarily keeping this RV for any period of time, so why make all these modifications? Now, as far as my truck spare, that thing used to sit and be nestled nicely underneath the gas tank and the hitch there. I don't think I can do that now because the tank hangs down considerably. The tire would hang down considerably. I mean, it would still be up a ways, but it's not going to be up enough. You can kind of see the gas tank there. That's the one that has the ribs behind the springs and in front of the hitch. It's just not enough distance there for me to do that. I think the way that I should mount the tire is upright and up against the bed rail on the side here. Of course, I'm not doing that. That's something for another day. And the nice thing is, you know, we were all talking about how that water tank's going to move around. Well, not with that tire in the way. There is no way that tank is going to move, and unless I roll the truck. And in that case, the last thing I'm concerned about is that plastic tank rolling around. I'm worried about me rolling around. So yeah, I've got to put a couple more chairs in here and our propane grill, but I have enough room, just to let you guys know, I have enough room that I could put the job box in there and that little supply box, and then of course I have nooks and crannies that I could put tools, and I'm talking about my bags of wrenches and screwdrivers, power drivers, that kind of thing. They would all fit in here, but not much more. That would pretty much be it. It would be filled, but I expect that. I mean, whenever we're living out of the RV and this truck, I would expect the truck to be more full than it currently is. So I got room. I just like I said, I had full intentions of loading everything in here and getting an idea on weight and how it towed down the road. And Heidi said, yeah, she said that doesn't make much sense because you're just adding weight to the vehicle. You're not really going to use that stuff. And she's talking about, you know, a lot of these tools in here, specialty tools. You know, I'm not going to think I'm going to have a problem where I need a tap and die or a fuel disconnect switch or torque wrenches or all these screws and that. So I will possibly have a need for these tools, so they will go along with us because I use the crap out of them. Let me set them over here. And I still have to put my jumper box in, which I'll put that behind the seat. I've had this thing forever, and it's a good jumper box, but they don't make it anymore, and this is the original battery still. I'm shocked. So that's what we're doing. Now, on Heidi's front, and what's going on with her. Well, I can say that it's not good, and her dad, who had taken a turn for the worse, is apparently taking another turn for the worse. And that's pretty much last I heard. So I'm not wholeheartedly rushing out here to get my truck packed, because even though this trip is going to be a go, of course, if there's something severe that happens, which things are looking that way, then it's going to be delayed considerably. So that's not a good situation. Apparently her dad, yesterday, he was, whenever I mentioned on the last video that he was a little bit combative, he wanted to rip his catheter out and his heart monitor off and stuff, and he was cussing up a storm. And he had a urinary tract infection because of the catheter, which is pretty common. But when his blood pressure, whenever he was having a stroke, his blood pressure was dropping and then peaking and then dropping and peaking and then coming to normal. All that caused his kidneys to start and stop a few times, and
Yesterday, later in the day, they said that his kidneys were failing him. The plan was this morning then he was going to get dialysis, and hopefully that was going to jumpstart him and get his kidneys start to work again. Heidi, she went to her mom's last night, or this morning I should say, and picked up her dad's truck because Heidi's little car, we let that thing just go. It's just a winter beater, and she just drives 7 miles to work or 6 miles to work, whatever it is, and 6 miles home. She don't ever take that anywhere. That doesn't go anywhere because we just got it to where it's a 34 miles to the gallon in the city. All she does for her driving, and she don't ever go over 55. So anyway, she grabbed her dad's truck just in case that she had to go over to the hospital, and her mom rode over to the hospital with Heidi's cousin, who's a paramedic. And Heidi got a call at work from her cousin that said, I've called your brother, I called your brother already. I'm calling you. I'm getting ready to call your sister. You guys all need to come over to the hospital as quick as you can. So Heidi called me, and she was all flustered and said, I'm headed to the hospital. And she texted me a couple times a few hours ago that said that it didn't look like your dad was going to make it. I haven't heard anything for quite some time. I'm talking about the last probably 2.5 hours, so I'm not sure what's going on. I'm going to have to wait until I get word from her, and then I might step it up a little bit. Now, I did go and get the tires rotated. I found a place. The guy said, listen, we're real slow right now. You got here early enough. My mechanic's just standing around. I'm not even going to do the paperwork on it. He goes, just hand him a $20 bill. He says, I'll rotate the tires for you. And I said, that's fine with me, because I do not want to be in the mud today because it rained last night, and it was pretty damp, and it was already bad in the driveway. So yeah, they rotated the tires for me, and went down the road okay. So anyways, that's the point right now that we're at, and I'll pick this up and close it out if nothing goes on, but hopefully Heidi hears some better news. And in the meantime, I'll put the hitch and everything on the truck, and maybe get the RV pulled out into the driveway. But again, I don't want to until I hear word from her. So just kind of on a standby there. It's always something, and unfortunately this is a bad something. So we'll see what happens here. Well, guys, it's definitely later in the evening. It's 7 o'clock, and I stopped packing the truck. Just been waiting to hear word from Heidi, and unfortunately it's not good. Her father did pass. So she is going to be on bereavement for the rest of this week. So as far as our trip, it's not going to be a go right away. The truck will stay packed, and we'll stay in a holding pattern. Her dad had very clear, wishes on what he wanted, and one of them was no calling hours. So I'm sure we'll have the funeral here eventually, and yeah, it's not a good time. And even the vacation is going to be kind of strange. I don't even know what to think there, if we even do it. But we'll fill you in and let you know. If you guys comment on this, I'm sure that we'll get a lot of comments, because we've had a lot so far. Just be aware that as far as us replying, it's probably not going to necessarily happen right away. And yeah, it's really sad. But this is just one of those things that happens, and it makes you again come to the realization that life is just short. It's not that long ago that he retired. At least it don't seem like that long ago. And he was 73, 74. I think he was 73 years old. So it wasn't like that. He had a extremely long life, and he did for the most part the things that he wanted to do. But this is something that Heidi and I really worry about, and I'm sure a lot of people do. That stuff happens, and it can happen at any time to anybody at any age. So we're gonna move forward with all this, and hopefully Heidi comes through this okay, and hopefully her mom more than anybody else. Everybody's worried about her mom, because this is the first time in many, 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 many years that they have been apart. So I'm going to close this out, and as always, guys, we hope to see you out there. Bye.